Well, let's see what the Trump White House has been up to today. And it's been a lot. First off, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and Elon Musk got into a shouting, well, not a shouting match, but a heated disagreement during a cabinet meeting. Mr. Rubio was upset because Musk had essentially shut down USAID after it had been sent over to the State Department. And that is our big soft power um, agency. And Rubio was, I would say, pissed because now he's got an agency he can't do anything with because they fired everyone that worked in it. It's an empty suit. And after a back and forth exchange between Musk in his smugness and Rubio in what would be his righteousness, Trump sided with Rubio. Musk had gone too far. That's how it is. He always goes too far. Well, on top of that, Trump wants to use a rarely used rule in dealing with all the lawsuits that are being filed, that people who challenge the government have to post money at the start of the court case. Needless to say, this would have a chilling effect on the right to file for redress of grievance. But as far as the Trump administration is concerned, only they have grievances. Everybody else is wrong. Well, hopefully that won't stand too far with the courts. And something which is absolutely baffling to me is that Trump wants to move the 160,000 active duty military personnel, or, well, the majority of them, 35,000 active duty personnel out of Germany and move them to Hungary. Hungary, who is Putin's mouthpiece at NATO, and to an extent, the European Union, probably doesn't even have the facilities to house 35,000 or more troops. But Trump wants to give him the economic windfall of having a bunch of American troops in one place. I saw this firsthand when I was in Germany. I was stationed in Baumholder, which was at the time the largest collection of U.S. citizens outside of the United States. And it was a huge windfall for the entire region, not just Baumholder itself. So let's cozy up to Trump's allies, I guess, is the new White House feeling. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which George Bush signed into law in 2007, allows many nonprofit and government employees to have their federal student loans canceled after 10 years of payments. This is a very popular program. And he wants to sign an executive order today, Friday, March 7th, to exclude certain loan borrowers from the program, which he called it. He wants to limit PSLF program from agencies that engage in illegal or what we would consider improper activities. I don't know how many of those there are, but I would think not many. But that's one way to put a stop on free speech. You know, let's let's make it hard for these people. They got to pay everything back. This coming from a man who is notorious for not paying his bills. He found during the classified documents scandal, he had trouble finding law firms that would represent him because of how much money he still owed to other law firms. Now he's saying everybody must pay everything back. These people work either in the government or for, nonprofits, selected nonprofits. It's not all of them, it's selected nonprofits. And saying, hey, screw you. You have to do what I don't. Typical. Typical Donald Trump. Elsewhere in the government, Department of Homeland Security said it will not honor the bargaining contract with the union that represents TSA agents. Dear Lord in heaven. Union busting at its best. Probably the only place that can just say, screw that collective bargaining agreement. We aren't going to honor it is probably U.S. government, but that remains to be seen when this gets to the courts. The TSA agents wouldn't have organized if they didn't feel a need to. But, hey, what the hell? Who cares? And other things, SpaceX Starship on launch number 8 got to space and did exactly what Starship 7 did. It blew up. This time it lost control and started spinning wildly. This shut down airports all over Florida. And to put that into perspective, the East Coast flight corridor handles more flights a day than all of Europe. So having to shut down Florida airports because of the possibility of falling debris causes major problems. When are they going to learn that Elon Musk is a flim-flam man? He bought Tesla. He didn't invent Tesla. He bought it from the two men that did, paid them an outrageous sum of money, but the contract included the fact that they could never again say they ever had anything to do with Tesla. So he didn't invent it. He bought it and then claimed it as his own. He throws money at startups that he thinks can make him a bunch of money. And then claims that everything came from his mind and his mind alone. And while we're talking about SpaceX and Doge, there was a Doge staffer walking around at NASA who they did away with their LinkedIn profiles. They sent all their X accounts to private. But they let publicly accessible Google Calendar out there for everyone to see. Why these people are getting their hands on sensitive material astounds me because they don't know how to handle sensitive material. Tell everybody where you're going, who you're going to talk to, even if you're going to talk to somebody about classified information. Musk is claiming that the two astronauts that went up on the Boeing capsule to the space station have been stranded there because Biden didn't want to bring them back early. Well, there may be some truth to that. I don't know. But it was known that there were 2 empty seats on a SpaceX capsule that came down, and for some reason Musk said that that wouldn't be a viable solution. So we need to let him stay. Well, now they're coming off that it was Biden's idea, which is bullshit. Why would he want to strand 2 people in outer space? Why would any president want to do that? But now that we have Elon Musk at the heart of everything, it's safer to tell a lie than speak the truth. Well, while we're dealing with things outside the White House, Borders Czar Tom Homan is trying to get charges filed against New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for holding a webinar, Know Your Rights with the ICE. And he says that that is making it hard for him to enforce border law. I guess he forgot the fact that members of Congress are protected against lawsuits for, well, their right to speak. They can call people a liar, they can defame people, and they can't be sued for it. He claims that she's trying to teach them how to avoid the law enforcement. Well, no, the webinar is just there to tell people what you have to do when you meet a border agent and what rights you have in ICE custody. This isn't illegal. It isn't illegal to explain to people what you have to do to request asylum. It isn't illegal to tell people their rights under American law. But as far as he's concerned, she's committing a felony. He's a bigger blowhard than Donald Trump, unfortunately. Well, some Republicans in Congress want to modify the full retirement age under Social Security. And they're being extremely disingenuous about it. Currently, people aged 59 or more have to wait until the age of 67 before they can draw full retirement, full Social Security. Now, they want to raise that to 69. When I say disingenuous, it couldn't be any more, because when they raised the law the last time, it excluded people who were already in range of reaching 65. in a few short years and left that at 65. Now they want to stiff the people who are looking at retirement, coming up to enjoy, well, their golden years, which may be long, which may not be. Let's screw everybody. Another thing out of Congress, they want to change the Constitution on how Electoral College delegates are provided, so that whoever wins the entire state wins all of it, instead of having it split up between, the Republican candidate or whatever and the Republicans. Well, this sounds like, something. It's also, well, bullshit. It amounts to 2 delegates, because only Nebraska and Maine will split their Electoral College votes. Right now, the people in Omaha, which is really pretty liberal, have the representative from their area voting primarily for the Democrat, and the other 4 votes in the state going Republican. This isn't a big deal. Maine also is the only state, and by the look of it, they have a total of 3 delegates: the representative and the 2 senators. So it's a 2-for-1 if they win Maine, if the Republicans win Maine at all. It's a 2-for-1. You get 2, the 2 that represent the Senate and the 1 that represents you in the House. What's the big deal about 2 votes? And since the Constitution says that elections and Electoral College participants are left to the state to decide how to do that, they want to ignore the 10th Amendment, which leaves everything not assigned to the federal government to the power of the states. And last but not least, nobody saw this coming. You had to be blind. With all the people that have been fired by Elon Musk, they're now on the verge of overwhelming the unemployment compensation for federal employees. It's a rarely utilized system, and it's kind of creaky because it doesn't get used. But now they're going to bankrupt it. Nobody saw this coming because everybody's wearing blinders. Do this, do this, do this. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Be damned the consequences. This has to be done. Well, here's the thought, Elon. You're stupid. Technically, by law, he only has 130 days to advise the president before he has to go through confirmation by the Senate. And what he's going to run into is that at the end of that 130 days, if Trump wants to keep him on, has to send him in front of the Senate. There's going to be so much flack coming around that he probably won't get confirmed. Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend.